Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and middle of the day, or whatever it happens to be where you're at. Good to see all you fine folks this morning. Hope you had a really wonderful weekend. And for those of you that were in North America, hopefully you got to see the a little bit of the Northern Lights. I did not get to see any. Just they never hit our sky. It's the amount of light pollutions that we've got here that we couldn't see them. Oh, well, good to see you. I'll see you anyhow. It's just good to see you, Just Jen. Sorry, I missed another live. Shizzy would hope and join you all tomorrow. Hope everyone in chat has an awesome day. We do too. I'm glad you could make it in, even just to hit the like and thumbs up and all that neat kind of stuff. Hey, JW, how is it going? Good to see you, Janice. Go Vols. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Hey, Oki, how you doing? Good morning, all. Captain Kern, how you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Hope this morning is treating you just fine. And yes, there we go. T-Rex, what is up, brother? Oh, I bet you're just gearing up, ready for that Dollywood. Oh, that's going to be such a blast for you guys. Hope you have a wonderful time there. JD, good to see you. Ingrid, wonderful. Glad you could make it in. Daniel Berry, sports highlights. Best way to start out your morning is with some sports highlights. It's good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Awesome. And we've got, so make sure I didn't miss anybody. Mary, how are you doing this morning? And we've got Leslie. Glad you could make it in. Most definitely. Ingrid, definitely. Sean, how you doing? Yo. Good morning. Yes. So this morning, wow. I mean, everybody's gearing up for the Friday Night Live that's going to be happening in Dollywood. Oh, well, not in Dollywood. That's going to be happening in a different place, but it's going to be happening in Knoxville. And then, of course, they have they are meeting up in Dollywood on Thursday. And they're just going to go ride the coasters, spend some time, just, meet with everybody, greet, just make a day out of it. And if you really want to make Experts Day, just, give them a hard time every chance that you get. It makes him, somebody said this, that whenever all of the government mandated lockdowns went away, that he was so happy just to go out and meet with people that he just had a smile plastered on his face the whole time, which I think is awesome. That, it just thrills him to no ends to meet people in person and have a really good time. And after talking with Volstorm, which has known him for years, he said, "What you see here with Expert is no different than what you would meet in person." Which I'm sort of disappointed that I'm not going to be able to make it, but hey, it'll be a good time. But they're going to be in Knoxville on Dollywood on Thursday. Friday will be Friday Night Live, and you'd have to check with the Expert to confirm the location where they're going to be, but they're going to be doing Friday Night Live at a venue, which will be really neat because you're going to have people like T-Rex Trucking, you're going to have Danielle, you're going to have Volstorm. You guys get to actually see what Volstorm looks like. Have Dictionary Diva, you're going to have Caitlin Comments, you're going to have Little D, Danielle. I mean, it's just Kaiser Pineapple's going to be there. MG Law's going to be there. It's just going to be a really good time. Very, very, very neat time. Me, I will be in different part of the world, so that sucks. Sorry that you couldn't go. But I'm gonna be in Charleston, so I won't be able to hang out for that, unfortunately. But spend time with my wife. It's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing at all. Oh, pardon me. I hope you guys have your coffee this morning. It's gonna be a good morning. There's my wife has to go out of town for a conference this afternoon, but I've got she's going to be gone for a couple of days, and then she comes back, and then we're off to Charleston, and then we'll be back on Sunday night, something like that. And then we're here for a few more days. And then next week, I think it's Wednesday, something like that. The following week, yeah, we're heading out again. No, it's Friday. So yeah, it'll be Friday the following week. We head out and probably do a stream in the morning that morning, and then we're off to a graduation. So it'll be good. I won't be while I'm in Jacksonville. I won't be able to stream in the mornings, which is fine. Just fine. I mean, um, I'll miss you guys also. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll survive without me for a week. I'll probably jump on some streams in it, and meet up with people and most of it's going to be about spending some good quality time with family. I mean, the one of the boys is graduating high school. He's like fourth in his class, something like that, third in his class. So just it's going to be really good to see him go through the ritual that his older brother just went through of graduating and being showered with gifts and kudos. I mean, two smart kids. But yeah, so we have that coming up, and of course today, no, we won't. However, family comes first. Yes, you will. You'll get over it. So, in case you guys were curious, today is going to have. Oh, it's Trump trial arrives at pivotal moment. Star witness Michael Cohen is poised to take the stand. I don't know why they would consider him a star or how it would be pivotal outside of, he's already been convicted of lying. He has perjured himself. Great. So that's going to be wonderful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I will enjoy my family time. Oh, last night was a blast. I mean, we were in stitches even after we finished. We were sitting, because there's a after you finish the stream and you close it down, we can set aside with each other and just talk and say things that we don't want to talk about on YouTube's and stuff like that. So it was really neat. We rolled back in there and we all of us were laughing just nonstop for at least a good 5 minutes, and it's a good way for us to unwind. But we had a blast. I think I have a story. Yamaha biker went back and watched it again because he just couldn't believe how much fun it was and how he had such a good time. Oh, I know you're only messing with me. I know. I like to give people a hard time. So Michael Cohen is, they don't tell you about this at all. They say he's Trump's former lawyer and personal fixer, and is by far the Manhattan DA's most important witness in the case, and his expected appearance signals that the trial is entering its final stretch. How can it be entering its final stretch? Because it won't matter what he says because he's a damn liar. It says they may wrap up their presentation by the end of the week. Whoopee. But that doesn't mean it's the final stretch. That's just the prosecution that still has failed to make a case. Just absolutely failed on all fronts to make a case. So of course they're gonna have Michael Cohen come in here. I was the personal fixer. I gave money to Stormy. Okay. Does that mean you're already a liar? So we're supposed to trust what you have to say? Okay. Cohen is expected to testify about his role in arranging money payments to Stormy Daniels, which she told last week she received $130,000 for her not to be talking about Trump in any way. Signed an NDA. She's also been sued by Trump for $500,000 because she lost. They found that was not the case. They found that was not true. The lies she told were not true. And so she was fined $500,000. That's what she lost to Trump. $500,000, and she refused to pay it. She says, I ain't paying that shit. Oh, well, isn't that wonderful? And see, they keep saying it was about her preventing her from going public about a sexual encounter, which is also not true. That's why she was sued for $500,000. But of course, the testimony of a witness with such intimate knowledge of Trump's activities could heighten the legal exposure of the presumptive Republican presidential nominee if jurors deem him sufficiently credible. But politically, prosecutors' reliance on a witness with just such a checkered past, he pleaded guilty to federal charges relating to payments and lying to Congress. Oh, and by the way, those charges that he was pleading guilty to happen to be the payments to Stormy Daniels. Could be a boon for Trump if he fundraises off the legal woes. No, it'll be a boon for Trump because he lied to Congress and was charged, pled guilty to it, that he lied about payments to Stormy Daniels. But of course, they're going to say he's going to use it about their tainted criminal justice system. Okay. Either way, his role as a star prosecution witness further cements the disintegration of a mutually beneficial relationship that was once so close that Cohen famously said he'd take a bullet for Trump. After Cohen's home and office were raided by the FBI in 2018, Trump showered him with affection on social media, praising him as a fine person with a wonderful family and predicting incorrectly that Cohen would not flip. Months later, Cohen did exactly that, pleading guilty in August to federal campaign finance charges in which he implicated Trump. By that point, the relationship was irrevocably broken. Well, that was among other things he was in trouble with. Not to mention, Cohen also broke lawyer-client privilege on way more than just Stormy. Mm-hmm. And of course, the then known as Twitter. What? Okay. At that point, the relationship was broken. If anyone was looking for a good lawyer, I'd strongly suggest you don't retain the services of Michael Cohen. Well, I'm trying to think because if I'm not mistaken, Twitter was okay. Whatever. Cohen later admitted to lying to Congress about the Moscow real estate project that he had pursued on Trump's behalf during the heat of the 2016 campaign, among other things. Prosecutors are expected to elicit detailed testimony from Cohen about his past crimes in hopes to blunting the impact of defense lawyers' questioning and showing that they're not trying to hide his misdeeds, but it's unclear how effective that will be. Of course, AP would say how effective that would be. Good morning, Ugly Chuckling. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Gamer 2, welcome to morning chat. Grab your coffee, hit the thumbs up. It helps out Shizzy. Oh, most definitely. Oh, yes. How you doing? How you doing? But it's unclear how effective that will be, given that defense lawyers will be prepared to exploit all the challenges that accompany a witness like Cohen. In addition to painting Cohen as completely untrustworthy, they're also expected to cast him as a vindictive, vengeful, and agenda-driven. Since their fallout, Cohen has emerged as relentless and sometimes crude critic of Trump, appearing as recently as last week in a live TikTok. Ooh, wearing a t-shirt featuring a figure resembling Trump with his hands cuffed behind bars. The judge on Friday urged prosecutors to tell him to refrain from making any more statements about the case or Trump. Because, yeah, it makes you look like shit. He has talked extensively about his desire to see President Trump go to prison. Well, yeah. And they will highlight that, of course, because Stormy Daniels said the same thing. No matter how his testimony unfolds, like it's going to unfold like a taking a dump in the middle of a children's parade. It's not going to go over well. You're probably going to get in more trouble. No matter how his testimony unfolds, Cohen is undisputedly central to the case, as evidenced by the fact that his name was mentioned in the jury's presence during opening statements more than 130 times, more than any other person. Although this whole trial is supposed to be about payments that never happened to Stormy Daniels, which she lost the case over because she was found to be a liar. It isn't freedom of speech unless there's a gag order. Exactly. Morning, Ballstorm. How you doing? Good morning, you bunch of nuts. Oh, what a good time we had yesterday. It was such a good time. Other witnesses, including former National Enquirer, David Becker, and former Trump advisor Hope Hicks, have all testified at length about the role Cohen played in arranging to stifle stories that were feared to be harmful to. Yeah, you guys spent so much time talking about that maybe you had to prove that there was something that he did, but again, your whole thing is you're pissed off because Stormy Daniels' story turned out to not be true. During a massive rally on Saturday in South, what was it, Karamidougal? What? And jurors heard an audio recording of Trump and Cohen discussing a plan to purchase the rights to a story of Playboy model Karen McDougal, who has said she had an affair with Trump. Okay. During a massive rally on Saturday in the southern New Jersey resort town of Wildwood, Trump revived his criticism of the case, wrongly blaming President Joe Biden for orchestrating the New York charges, calling the case a Biden show trial. Oh, so that part of it might not be true. The rest of the bullshit might be true. Is that what they're saying? No, this has everything to. These are Biden's lapdogs, and if the news doesn't understand that, well, then AP, you don't deserve too much more of listening to. Oh, that's because it's the end of the story. That argument ignores the reality that the hush money case was filed by a local prosecutor who do not work for the Justice Department or any other White House office. Oh, so you're saying that you're going on the attack intentionally? It's amazing. It's amazing. He has no involvement in the two criminal cases against Trump brought by special counsel Jack Smith. Well, of course, Jack Smith is doing all this shit on his own and being a pain in the ass about it. You know, it's amazing to me that the people are this damn ridiculous. Oh, I can't show that. I wanted to show something, but no, because of course they have to have like somebody that's been deleted on the front page. Is all it's talking. What I wanted to show you is a little bit about what's going on in Russia and Kiev. But of course, the first thing they have to show is somebody, blood all over them, because that's how they have to. That's how they have to be. Ah, so we'll see if we can hide that picture. All right. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday replaced Sergei Shoigu as defense minister in a cabinet shakeup, sort of like a margarita. Just add vodka. That's all. In line with Russian law, the entire Russian cabinet resigned Tuesday following Putin's glittering inauguration in the Kremlin, and most members had been widely expected to keep their jobs while Shoigu's fate had appeared uncertain. Putin signed a decree on Sunday appointing Shoigu as secretary of Russia's Security Council. The Kremlin said the appointment was announced shortly after Putin proposed Andrei Belousov to become the country's defense minister in place of Shoigu. The amounts of Shoigu's new role came as 13 people were reported dead and 20 more wounded in Russia's border city of Belgrade. There was where a 10-story apartment building partially collapsed after what officials said was a Ukraine shelling. Wait, you don't think Ukraine would be shelling Russian border cities, do you? No. No, they're running for the hills. They're hiding. They're cowering. They're trying to hide from the Russian attackers, the violent Russian attackers. They're so vicious, so scary. You have to be careful of them. Belousov's candidacy, and I guess that's how you'd say his name, will need to be improved by Russia's upper house parliament, federal council, Federation Council. It reported Sunday that Putin introduced proposals and other cabinet positions, but as well as Shoigu as the only minister on that list who is being replaced. Several other candidates for federal ministers were proposed Saturday by Prime Minister Miguel something or other, Miss Houston. How would you like to have a name like Miss Houston? Oh yeah, he got over 100K in a rally in New Jersey. Biden got an angry crowd in New York City. I know, isn't it amazing? It's the vast contrast. That's why I always find it a little odd whenever they would show these kinds of things that they would make Trump out to like, oh, barely hardly anybody showed up. I think they said there was 80,000, but whatever, 100,000, 80,000. But compared to Biden, which gets just about 10, and they're all saying "F you." Shogu's deputy Timur Ivanov was arrested last month on bribery charges and was ordered to remain in custody pending an official investigation. The arrest of Ivanov was widely interpreted as an attack on Shogun, possible precursor of his dismissal despite his close personal ties with Putin. Don't care. So all it does is it says thousands of civilians have fled Russia's renewed ground offensive in Ukraine's north. See, that's what I don't understand. They keep saying that they've fled, they've run away, but yet they're attacking civilian buildings right across the border. I don't know. I'm confused about this. Makes no sense. Good morning, Risa. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Yeah. Okay, yeah. See, they keep saying that they're fleeing and they're leaving and they're running. Analysts say the Russian push is designed to exploit ammunition shortages before promised Western supplies can reach the front lines. Little interesting story. I can't confirm this, so it's probably 100% bullshit. But if you think about this, why do you think there was such a rush for the U.S. to promote this $70 billion bill for Ukraine to purchase arms? I mean, think about this. Why do you think there was such a really giant push to really push for the U.S. to spend all of this money? Do you think it was like, oh, we're going to all of a sudden ramp up production? I mean, I don't believe it's true. I don't believe that's true, because to produce any kind of armament, we're talking about tanks, missiles, missile systems, rockets, firearms, shells. They can't be produced overnight. My suspicion is that all of those things were already there, already sitting in shipping containers or C-130s or whatever else means they may have to get them to Ukraine, are already sitting there, if not already in Ukraine, like sitting somewhere very close where they could access them in a short notice. Because it's not like they can just throw it on a plane and just ship it over there overnight. The logistics of that is massive, especially if it's military grade hardware that's going to be going to another country. It takes a while to get those parts moving. Herculean effort, you might say. I think that the stuff is already there, already was there. But of course, now you have to go, well, if we don't get this passed, we're gonna be sitting here with all of this ammunition and firearms and rockets and missiles and crap like that, and we've got nowhere to go with it. It's gonna sit there. It's stockpiled up. I think too many. You had too many gummies. I'm laughing at the wrong stuff. Awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It is This is my thought where they say, oh, analysts, Russian pushes designed to exploit ammunition shortages. Maybe it's to exploit that they weren't short on anything, that the US government was already sending arms over there. Like I said, it takes a while to get those things, first of all, built, second of all, shipped. Unless we're just shipping them old stuff, but then still getting them all of that stuff in place. Takes a while to get there. Ukrainians, like I said, don't, you can't say that I was funds from Congress are probably to pay back the U.S. military supplies and stuff is already there. Exactly. I have no doubt that it's there. I mean, prove to me that it wasn't. I'll be happy to look at it. Prove to me that they've ramped up production on anything. I mean, they still may be ramping up production, but that's the new stuff they're going to be building for us. I think it's very important to have to have this kind of push on the military, the arms, get those things built up as quickly as possible. Also, why they're really trying to lower the standards for government enlistment. If you haven't been paying attention to that, they've lowered the standards again. It's fine if you're a man dressed like a woman or a woman dressed like a man. It's fine. We'll take you in the military there too. The gays in the military, sure. Well, we don't have to worry that they're not leaving any family behind. We can send those fine folks to go, and it's sort of like that South Park. What was it they called it? I'm trying to remember whenever they attacked Canada. It was just wrong. But this is the outlook for our country, is to be dealing with the crap that's going on in Ukraine, be dealing with a border that's overflowing with illegals coming in. Meanwhile, you've got things happening over in other places, like where in the hell was it? It was nope, not there. I'm trying to see where exactly is it. I'm pretty sure I saw it. Oh yeah, there it is. China publicizes for the first time what it claims is a 2016 agreement with the Philippines, because now we've got things going on with the Philippines, one of our allies. Stuff is warehouse in Poland for the next handout. Exactly. I was thinking I was sitting at Ramstein Air Force Base. Yeah. But wouldn't surprise me. Putin is using cluster bombs. That's evil. Also, the media. We're out of missiles, so we're going to give Ukraine cluster bombs. Right. Funds from Congress are probably need to pay back U.S. military supplies. The stuff is already there. Always. China publicizes for the first time what it claims is a 2016 agreement with the Philippines, which they're just basically stirring up more stuff. Taiwan. For the first time, China has publicized what it claims is an unwritten 2016 agreement with the Philippines over access to South China Sea islands. The move threatens to further raise tensions in the disputed waterway through which most of the world's trade passes, and which China claims virtually in its entirety. Statement from the Chinese embassy in Manila said that the temporary special agreement agreed to during a visit to Beijing by former President Rodrigo Duterte, allowing small-scale fishing around the island, but restricted access by military, Coast Guard, and other official planes and ships to the 12 nautical mile limit of territorial waters. Philippines respected the agreement over the past 7 years, but has since reneged on it to fulfill its own political agenda, forcing China to take action, the statement said. This is the basic reason why, for the ceaseless disputes at sea between China and Philippines over the past year or more, blah, 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 blah. Because basically they're saying it's Duterte had cozy relations with Xi Jinping, aside from all this bullshit. So basically it's U.S. This is what it boils down to. U.S. has warned repeatedly that it's obligated to defend the Philippines, the oldest treaty ally in Asia. If Filipino forces, ships, or aircraft come under armed attack, including the South China Sea, we will be going to war with them. So right now, there's a push for us to build up our army because the last thing the Democrats want to do is enact a draft. That is the last thing that they want to do. And our military standards are so low right now that I'm surprised that, we don't have one-legged Brokeback Mountain, donkeys in there, because it wouldn't surprise me if that's their next move. It's like, yeah, just strap a bomb to that donkey, send him on in there. He's just an ass. It won't hurt anything. And of course, then we have this. Trump suggests Chinese illegals are in the U.S. to build an army. The illegals tell a different story. Okay, so what do they say here? It was 7 a.m. on a recent Friday when Wang Gang, dude, that's sorry, your name is Wang Gang. A 36-year-old Chinese illegal jostled for a day job in New York City's Flushing neighborhood when a potential employer pulled up near the street corner home to a Chinese bakery and pharmacy. Wang whipped out. It's Wang. And dozens of other men swarmed around the car. They were hoping to be picked up for work on a construction site, at a farm, as a mover, anything that would pay. Okay. Wang had no luck. Well, Wang, you're in the wrong line of work. What is up, Farrell? Good morning. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you haven't completely gone off the deep end. Hopefully. Oh, I haven't seen you in forever. So it's been way too long. I'm gonna see if you're interested in joining me up here. But it's up to you. Because we're talking about Wang. I mean, who else would like to talk about Wang? Good morning, pal. You're going home? Oh, and I have. Nice. Good to see that you're doing something worthwhile. Wang had no luck. Even as he waited for 2 more hours, it would be another day without a job since he crossed the U.S. border illegally. Like I said, he's here. Why isn't he being arrested? Seeking better financial prospects than he had in his hometown of China. Well, blame that on your Chinese government. Don't expect anything good to happen for you. The daily struggle of Chinese illegals in Flushing is a far cry from the picture former Trump and other Republicans have sought to paint of them as a coordinated group of military-aged men who have come to the United States to build an army and attack America. No, he just said it was very suspicious. Since the start of the year, as Chinese illegals have been trying to find their footing in the U.S., Trump has alluded to fighting age or military age Chinese men at least 6 times and suggested at least twice they were forming an illegal army. And that's a talking point that's being amplified in conservative media and on social platforms. Now, see, it's true. That's the thing about it, because I and this is why that what Trump is saying has a lot of footing. And I'll show you why. Why here, just a second. Give me just super quick question, super interesting thing. If you don't believe me that what he's saying isn't true, you can take it at AP's words. And let me explain to you what I mean. Where in any of this does it say this is under AP's own direction of things that did not happen this week. This is AP's fact check. Where in here Where in here does it say that there's not military age men coming over into the US? Where is it? Where's the fact checkers? So fact checkers, if what Trump is saying is true or didn't contain any weight, they would have it in here. Of course, wouldn't they? I mean, that would be the top fact check that they would have in there. But you don't see that in here. That would be top news. Like this isn't true. You can't believe this because it's completely false. But maybe it carries some weight what he's saying. You have a dollar, she make you very happy. Hey, we're talking about Wang here. Wang doesn't do that. They're coming from China, 32,000 over the last few months, and they're all military age and they're mostly men. No lies detected there. And Trump said this during a campaign rally last month. Well, last month they still didn't dispute that what he said wasn't true. And look at what it says. And it sounds to me like they're trying to build a little army in our country. Ask the question, is that what they're trying to do? Nothing wrong with asking a question there. That's why the AP can't fact check him. Because of what he says and the way that he words it, and it sounds like to me they're trying to build a little army in our country. Is that what they're trying to do? He never said that they were building a little army. AP, you said that. So maybe what he's asking carries some weight. Maybe what he says is carrying some weight. If not, then over the last months they would dispute that. But the AP knows that might just be true. As Trump and others exploit a surge in illegals and the real concern about China's geopolitical threat, which it should be, and their political aims, which you should be always concerned with, Asian advocacy organizations worry the rhetoric would encourage further harassment and violence towards Asian community. Who is attacking the Asian community? Who is it that's actually attacking the Asian community? Because everything that I've seen, it's not Republicans attacking. It happens to be more race-based than that. Just saying, look at all of the Asian attacks that we've had in the country. You haven't seen a single Republican. You might see someone with a much darker melatonin to their skin that's doing the attacks in these communities. And I don't think that it's race-based. I think that it's just economic-based. It's availability. It's just, and I would suspect if they actually have the right to vote, these particular groups, that they're not voting for Republicans, because Republicans want to arm their citizens, and that is the last thing these guys want to have going on. Asian people in the U.S. already experienced a spike in hate incidents. No, they just received an increase in incidents. And this was from the Black community attacking mainly older people and women. Don't know why there was such a spike. Maybe because, well, you passed laws in your sanctuary cities that said, no, we're not going to prosecute anybody unless they do one thing or another. And that's not prosecutable. Just, them robbing somebody, unless it's maybe a violent one. And then you have to prove that it was someone violent. But other than that, we're just going to let these things go. You've done this to your own cities. You've created an absolute shitstorm, and then you want to blame Trump for it. And I don't know what Xerox phobic is, but if you don't like copiers, that's your own problem. Trump's dehumanizing rhetoric and blatant attacks against illegals. And this is, who says this? Cynthia Choi? What the hell is, okay. affirmative action. Okay, I'm going to look up this stop APPI hate, and okay, let's look for this Cynthia Choi because I'm curious who she subscribes to here. I'm really curious. So let's see what it is. It is, oh, well, here we go. She's she's part of California government. Hmm. Let's see. Cynthia Choi, of course. Let me guess. He, her. Oh, there you go. Is the co-executive director of Chinese for Affirmative Action, community-based civil rights organization committed to protecting the dignity and fair treatment of all illegals and fulfilling the promise of a multiracial democracy. But we're not a democracy, you dumb twat. So Cynthia is also co-founder of Stop AAPI Hate, a national coalition addressing anti-Asian racism across the U.S. Cynthia has over 30 years experience working in the nonprofit sector based in California, of course, and over 20 years serving in leadership positions. She has led state, national, local, communities-based organizations and this initiative working on a range of issues from reproductive justice, gender violence, violence prevention, illegal refugee rights, the environmental justice issues. She is a daughter of illegals and a native Californian, raising 3 daughters of her own and is deeply committed to creating the world as socially just. She's been recognized and recommended for her work to advocacy, racial equity. Most recently, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. She's a piece of shit. I view her as a piece of justice warrior garbage. Thank you, Cynthia Choi. Don't give two shits about this person or what they have to say. Now that I've completely invalidated everything that she has to say. Just, sorry, so bad. And co-executive committee, blah, blah, blah. In the midst of an already inflamed political climate election year, we all know too well how harmful such rhetoric can be. Wait, if you have $1, she make you very, very happy. Just another stir-fry story. Exactly. Bye, Janice. You have a good one, Janice. You take care. You have a great week also. Have a great week also. Let's not forget Asians don't all look like Chinese or even Japanese. No, really? Me so stupid. And we got another bonehead here. Greg Orton, National Director of the National Council of Asian Pacific Americans, said many Asian American communities remain gripped by fear and that some Asians still feel uncomfortable about taking public transportation. It has nothing to, they want to blame all of their downfall on Trump. They want to blame all the attacks on Trump. They want to, we can't find anything to pin on him. We can't find anything. Can't find anything. I just find it hilarious that they find absolutely nothing. Yet, whenever they have this story, Joe Biden wants to remind 2020 voters of a record and an agenda. Often it's Donald Trump's. Really? Oh. They passed the Bannister test equals Asian. If you know, you know. Yeah. President Joe Biden is running for re-election on a record and an agenda. It's often Donald Trump's. In a hotel ballroom, Seattle, at fancy homes in California, and stops at Illinois, Wisconsin over the past week, Biden has been betting that reminding voters about Trump's presidency and highlighting his Republican opponent's last campaign statements will work to the Democrat advantage. At a Seattle fundraiser Friday night, Biden brought up Trump's recent interview with Time magazine, which Trump said what? Which Trump states said states should be left to determine whether persecute. That's not what he said. Who in the fuck? I'm sorry. Pardon my. Who in the ever living hell wrote this is a damned idiot. Because how does this make you look? That first of all, you got Biden. I'm so smart running around from state to state, just popping in every which way, while another candidate is in New York City dealing with a trial. So he's not able to go out and campaign. Yet if he says anything, well, then we're going to put a gag order on you. If he does anything, then they're going to go on the attack against him, as compared to this guy that can go out there and spread lies and bullshit left, right, and center. So he's saying right here, this Friday night, that he's bringing up Trump's interview with Time magazine. So the interview with Time magazine, because of course you're not really going. He's urging you to read it because they're not going to. He's going to say that Trump states. He's saying this is what he's saying. Trump said that states should be left to determine whether to prosecute women for abortions or to monitor their pregnancies. Why don't we find out exactly what they said? Why don't you show Biden what he actually said? AP, I haven't even scrolled down, and I can guarantee that they do not want to show what he actually said. Because if I'm not mistaken, he said, leave it up to the states to decide what's best for their citizens. Just guessing, but they're not going to say what they think that he said because they don't have a quote on that. Because Trump has said this all along, not just with Time magazine. Leave it up to the states to decide how they want to go about the abortion issue. Get it out of the federal government. Better for states to make their decision. Biden, who headlined another Seattle fundraiser before returning to the East Coast, has plenty of other Trump material to draw from too, or lies. That's the best way of doing it. The amazing news here is Time magazine still exists. It's true. And people actually read it? Okay. Biden, who headlined another Seattle fundraiser, the president highlights how Trump has promised, if elected, to be a dictator on day one. No. Listen to everything that he said. He is going to be like a dictator on day one. He is going to fire everybody. He's going to get people in there that he can trust, that aren't going to second guess his decisions and do what he thinks is best. He's going to get rid of all the trash that is surrounding people like Biden. Because in 4 years after Trump is gone, they'll elect another Democrat. Because people are stupid and they're short-sighted. Because the Democrats will blame the left for, a shitty economy. And then whenever the Republicans have a good economy, they'll take the kudos for it. And the same way with Republicans, they do the same thing. They can't help it. Totally obliterate the deep state. Oh yeah, there it is. You finally get the whole thing. He suggests the United States would not necessarily defend allies from aggression, how he's pledged. That is not true at all. Because the United States should not be involved in Ukraine. It should not be involved in that at all. They are not an ally. This is a domestic issue that needs to be handled by those people in those European countries if they so desire. Of course, they don't desire that because they know that Russia would put the smackdown on them really damn quick. And of course, He has said a whole lot more, said Biden during his Chicago appearance. But the bad news is he means what he says. He means what he says. Unless you think I'm kidding, just think back to the 6th of January. This guy means what he says. Really. And he had nothing to do with that. Those were supporters that were allowed in by the Capitol Police. Nancy Pelosi was in charge of the Capitol Police that day. And what did she do? She was in charge of security. She was Secretary of State. Or do you think she just sat back, ripped up a few more pages, and some anger-looking way of doing it? Gets her little pissy attitude. Yeah. Yeah, we remember, Nancy. You were in charge of security that day. What happened with security? What no one talks about is whether or not Republicans can keep the House and take the Senate. Of course not. Because the presidency doesn't really matter. I heard this asked by political podcasts as what happens if the Democratic DNC super delegates replace Biden with Michelle Obama to save your democracy and avoid riots in Chicago? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. That, yeah, if they do that, that would be stupid on their part. What no one, yeah. It's amazing your Time magazine still exists. All hail mighty Volstorm. Biden wants the 2024 election to be referendum on Trump's record and plans, but he also wants voters to look favorably on his own policies and actions. But you have no policies or actions that have been favorable. Because on day one, what did you do? You became a freaking dictator. Every single thing that Trump did, you came in with a pen proudly displaying it. And I got it fired up. Bring it to me. Whatever Trump signed in, I am undoing every single bit of that. I'm doing executive order, and I am just going through and eliminating anything that Trump did. And then after you did that, all the policies that you eliminated via Trump, you did executive orders to put them back in place, except signing your name to it. I mean, it's shitty, but that's all that you did. Is you signed things off and said goodbye. We don't want to have anything to do with you. See ya. Bye. Done. I don't like this. I'm getting rid of it. And then, you're like, oh shit. I mean, that was probably a really good idea. So let's just say that I did that instead. Biden and his allies think the country needs reminded about Trump's tenure and his outlandish and often concerning statements. No, it was not that. It was the bullshit that you Democrats were saying that he said that he did not say. And it was your lapdog news reporters that felt the need to parrot the same thing that the Democrats were saying and avoiding what he actually said. It was just the amount of bullshit that was coming out of the media about what he said and what he actually did, or complete bullshit. And I'm not even angry. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed that people actually believe this shit. That chaos is nothing new for Trump. His presidency was chaos. Why? Because Republicans and Democrats both allowed that shit to happen. Now that's funny. They seem to forget what the last convention. That is the last convention. Yeah. Biden frequently highlights Trump's efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. No. See, that right there is a lie. That is absolutely a lie. Biden barbs have been getting sharper of late. Well, unlike him, which he has not been getting sharper. He opened the Seattle fundraiser on Friday by telling the donors, "Thank you for the warm welcome. Please keep it down because Donald Trump is sleeping." That was a riff on news reports that the former president had dozed off during his. No, maybe Trump doesn't even give two shits. How about that? So we're talking about this right here. Biden also talks about his administration for Vladimir Putin. Okay. Wrong again. He actually sat down and had a communication with someone from another country. He stepped across the border, walked across the border, and met with him on his own terms, on his own ground. Walked right across the border. Who's going to stop him? What you think they're gonna shoot the president of the United States for crossing the border? Hmm. What about you, Biden? What border did you go to? Oh, that's right. You went over to Ukraine and paid to have your son released from all of the garbage that was going on. All the prosecutors that were going after your son. Now, I forget, what was it that you used presidential power whenever you weren't the president to go over and get prosecutors off the case? Yeah, we remember, Joe, but you tend to forget that we have a long memory for your bullshit. Trump campaign said in a statement, the records speak for themselves. President Trump created the most secure border in history and peace in the world. President Trump was the first president in modern history not to enter the U.S. in any new wars and actually had a plan for removing them safely out of Afghanistan. And then Biden came in and within a short period of time, he made sure that he ripped everybody out at the last moment, leaving them completely unsecured and causing the death of 13 servicemen. Yes, that was direct cause of the way that Biden handled it. Direct cause. Joe Biden's weakness has led to wars in Ukraine and in the Middle East, an invasion of illegals at our border, anti Semitic protests on our college campuses, and crime and chaos in every American city. No lies detected there. Show me where there was one thing that he said wasn't true. Because if it wasn't true, of course, AP would have it in his fact checks and say, well, these are the facts, and that's not true. AP, you really need to step up your fact checking because your fact checking really sucks. Just saying, really, really sucks. If you want to look at what their fact checking looks like, all you have to do is just pull it up. Look at what their fact checking actually tells you. It's nothing. Nothing that the fact checking will do. It's insane. Instead, what the fact checkers show is this right here. Hackers did not project the Soviet victory banner on Berlin's Brandenburg Gate this week. These are the kind of things that they talk about. Because they talk about what TikTok is talking about or some other bullshit popular media thing is talking about instead of just talking about, oh no, wait. No, France did not deploy troops to fight Ukraine against Russia. They didn't talk about that one either. No, here's their fact checking. AP fact check. Video shows Robert De Niro, National Guard. Okay. So where's the misinformation that's being spread around? Oh, it's on little social media sites like Facebook and YouTube and whatever else you can come up with. But yet you don't cover what really matters. You don't fact check what Biden says to be true or false. You know, unless it's Trump, then we have to fact check that. Trump doesn't hesitate to criticize Biden and his policies. No lies detected there. Trump is spending much of his time lately sitting in court. Go figure. Like I said, whoever wrote this is a complete fucking moron. Because this right here gave you away. Darlene Superville and Colleen Long. Great. At a recent Wisconsin rally, Trump mentioned Biden was within the first 2.5 minutes of his speech and referenced the president or his administration more than 60 times during his remarks. Trump's criticism often takes a dark turn. Last week, he told donors at his Florida resort that Biden was running a Gestapo administration. And let's put it into context. What he actually was talking about is the way that he has armed his citizens to come after a former president over bullshit trumped up charges. No different than what the Gestapo would do. Horrible. It's crappy. And if you don't know what the Gestapo is, it was a secret police force of the Third Reich that quelched political opposition. Oh, really? That's what the Gestapo did? Huh. So what have we been seeing? Are you part of the Gestapo, AP? Are you one of them that quelches those political statements? I'm just curious, AP. Would you be doing something like that? NBC, CBS, Fox News, none of you are free from this. PBS. Your tricks and tactics are being called out. And all you do is say, well, he's referencing the Germans. Trump's unfounded comparison, unfounded, I would say it looks pretty damn founded to everyone around. Something about Yahtzee tactics is part of his effort to deny and deflect the charges against him. Or how about it looks to me and like 90% of the rest of the world that they're not doing things properly. Biden's strategy is a gamble. Well, because, he can't count. Voters are divided in their views of both men's presidencies. Don't care. An April poll from the AP, don't care about your polls. You can just go suck a wang. For all his criticism of Trump, Biden does get around to talking about his agenda. Sure. What's your agenda? Well, send more money to Ukraine. We're going to send more people to process people in our Mexican border. We need to process some of these illegals through much faster. Mm-hmm. He tells supporters about his work to boost the economy and to bring the country out. Joe, you're not a great savior. You're not the great white hope. You're nothing. He discusses his support for deleting children. Oh, okay. There you go. Even as he highlights how Trump has taken credit for the overturning of Roe v. Wade. No, what he is taking credit for is putting justices in place, and it was an accomplishment that was agreed upon by even some of his most staunch haters. Ginsburg, for one of them, thought that Roe v. Wade was horrible law. And now it's gone back to the states. If the federal government wants to bring it up, they're more than welcome to. I don't think they will, though. Folks, the choice is clear. Biden told supporters recently in the nation's capital, Donald Trump's vision of America is one of revenge and retribution. Huh. Really? Hey, Tammy. I'm trying to get my apartment cleaned up and was working in the kitchen, putting dishes away and washing dirty ones. And what were you doing with the dishes? Meow. Trump affiliated group releases new national security book outline has a possible second term approach. America's first agenda summit, making future military aid to Ukraine contingent on the country participating in peace talks with Russia. Wow. It's amazing that these are the things that they want to do. Banning Chinese nationals from buying property within a 50-mile radius of U.S. government buildings, filling the national security sector with acolytes of Donald Trump. Well, yeah, One of the several groups trying to lay the groundwork for a second Trump administration of the former Republican president wins in November is out with a new policy book that aims to articulate America First national security agenda. I don't see anything wrong with this. You don't start with the policies first, you start with the strategies first, and that's what we've done. Okay. U.S. should rush Israel a squadron of 25 Lockheed Martin F-35s, one squadron of Boeing F-15s EX, a squadron of Apache E attack helicopters, and it should give some of its billions of dollars in military funding to Israel and Israeli currency so Israel can spend it at home. And Washington should push Arab states to foot the bill for the rebuilding of Gaza and accept Israel's shelving of any political talks with the Palestinians pending an indefinite period of compulsory de-radicalization for the Palestinian people. Okay, so that's your goals for it. Those are some lofty goals, but I guarantee it's not going to hold through. Oh no, I'm just I'm just giving you a hard time. You said you were washing the dirty ones. I was wondering who the dirty ones were. Well, that's what I was curious about. I mean, whenever I scrub my dirty ones, man, or my wife's dirty ones. There are we do have dirty parts. Some of our bits are not nice. Some of our bits are not nice. But we've got some funnier news. But before we get to that, before we get to a Colorado woman trying to steal a pickup but couldn't handle the stick shift, we're going to go grab some more coffee. Because that's how I got to leave you guys. You guys got to get that. Oh, what's he going to talk about now? Oh, we're going to take a coffee break. We're going to go get some more coffee. I'm going to play this one for you. I'll be right back.
My balls are tingling. Yeah, my balls are tingling.
God, I love that every single time I see that. It's so damn hilarious. Good morning. Good morning, Funston. Good morning, Rosalind Duke. How are you doing this morning? My gosh, nice, a funky groove to wake up to. You know it. Rambo! Rolling, 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 Rambo. Cute little baby. Hey, Amos girl, how you doing? Good to see you. Wonderful morning as it is. No, back to our story here. So, Colorado woman tried to steal a pickup but couldn't handle the stick shift. Police said, sorry. Boulder, Colorado, a Colorado woman's attempt to steal a pickup truck shortly after she was released from jail on a car theft charge was thwarted not by the officers, not by the truck's owner, but by her inability to handle the stick shift. Boulder police said the woman had been released from jail on May 3rd after being accused of stealing a car a day earlier. She walked down the road until she spotted a pickup truck with the keys inside. She then started the pickup, but apparently discovered she couldn't manage the manual transmission. So she got out and walked away, leaving the truck to roll forward and strike a fire hydrant, police said. A woman was arrested, now has a May 30th court date on new charges of motor vehicle theft, careless driving, driving without a license, and failing to report the crash. The truck, of course, was returned to its owner, police said. Police titled a social media post about the case of the stick shift for the win, which is acronym for the win. Yeah. I mean, are you that dumb, AP, that you didn't know that? And that's the kind of stories I like to read. Why can't we keep that? This weekend went by too fast. Well, we do. What what is it that they say about fast women? Oh, sorry, I was back to that stick. That stick. It's sorry. Most of the 15 million bees contained after a bee-laden truck crashes. Do you think it was the bees that caused the crash? Clinton, Maine, a tractor trailer hauling about 15 million honeybees to be used to pollinate blueberry fields. Blueberry fields forever. Well, it crashed and overturned on Interstate 95. Officials say the driver was taken to the hospital as a precaution Thursday night while first responders were working to ensure the safety of the bees that were in hives strapped on the trailer, which landed on its side. The bees were mostly contained, and the goal was to save them. First responders didn't realize the cargo was bees until firefighters went down an embankment to check on leaking fluids. They learned the hard way. Guys did get stung on a regular basis. Everyone got stung at least a couple of times, said Leary, who suffered several bee stings. The temperature in the 40s might have kept the bees from getting rowdier during the several hours it took to get the truck upright and removed by the tow truck, he said. Beekeeper was summoned to corral the bees. He got out there with his little lasso and captured them all. Got me a bee? Got me another bee? Or was he waving it over his head? Sort of like a thread. Like capturing them, grabbing them by their wings. Got another bee. Maybe he was doing like Karate Kid and he had little chopsticks out there. Well, he was corralling them. So, he had little fences around him, brought them all in together. Truckload of bees was heading to Washington County, which is the center of the state's wild blueberry industry. Bees are routinely trucked into the region to pollinate the blueberries. The blueberry barrens each spring. Well, we get plenty of bees in this area. I'm sorry. I'm so bad, aren't I? And she brought me lunch, which was super sweet. Oh, that is awesome. How was Mother's Day? I hope all you mothers had a wonderful Mother's Day. I really do. Because, it's a good thing you guys don't have to be brought in to pollinate flowers. Just let's put it that way. We love the mothers. We love the mothers. But of course, an unfortunate story happened here. Actor Steve Buscemi is okay after being punched in the face in New York City. Why would anybody do this? Now, I'll tell you an interesting story about Steve Buscemi that's not really related to me, except that guitar player that I was in a band with. His brother lived in New York City, and his neighbor was Steve Buscemi. And he was sort of surprised because this isn't like some multi-million dollar kind of place they live in. It's just regular average apartment building, which at that time probably would have been pretty expensive to live in, but not bad. Said that he ran across Steve Buscemi multiple times and just said he was one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. Just sort of chill and very, very easy to talk to and very easy to talk with. And, seemed like he was like a really nice guy. Cause whenever I heard that, I was like, so, what did you think of him? And he was just like, oh no, he's a great guy, just very down to earth, nothing, he didn't let his acting go to his head like some do. Yeah, exactly. Steve Buscemi is a hero. He's a good man. So sad. It is. Like, why would anybody go and attack him? So he is okay after he was punched in the face by a man in a New York City street. He's 66 years old. I had no idea. Fargo and Boardwalk Empire was assaulted late Wednesday morning in Manhattan and taken to a nearby hospital with bruising, swelling, and bleeding to his left eye. He was assaulted in Midtown Manhattan, another victim of a random act of violence in the city. He is okay and appreciates everyone's well wishes. Oh, the assault was first reported by the New York Post. The New York Police Department put out a nameless statement on the assault Wednesday. Buscemi representative confirmed Sunday that the unidentified assault victim in the police statement was the actor. The police department said there were no arrests and the investigation was continuing. Buscemi's Boardwalk Empire co-star Michael Stuhlbarg, I guess that's right, was hit in the back of the neck with a rock while walking in Manhattan Central Park on March 31st. Stuhlbarg chased his attacker, who was taken into custody outside the park. Wow. Maybe that sucks. Like, why would anybody attack Steve? I mean, he just seems to be like the hell is this? Be well. What the hell is this? Oh, this is something about health or something? Dude, don't tell me about health whenever you get that gut. I'm just saying, don't tell me about health whenever you got that happening. I mean, I am not like the peak of fitness, but I'm sorry. Some older Americans splurge to keep homes accessible while others struggle to make safety upgrades. Okay. What the hell are they talking about? It says Brenda Edwards considers a 4-bedroom ranch style house where she has lived for 20 years her forever home. It's where her 70-year-old retired nurse and 79-year-old husband want to stay as their mobility. What? Okay. So in their 50s, they moved into this home. So imagine this. Yeah, that's totally messed up. And he looked in his 60s since Airheads. True. That is very true. So in their 50s. Now, this would be no different than my wife and I, because, well, she's not in her 50s, but we both plan on retiring whenever she's in her 50s. But so they moved into this place 20 years ago. They're in their 70s now, and they want to stay as their mobility becomes more limited. Well, if it's like a brick ranch, it's a single floor, which means that, easy access in and out. And, his hips are shot because, carrying around that much weight is not as easy as it used to be. And, at some point he's probably going to be wheelchair bound or walker bound, or she's going to be walker bound. They'll, could live into their 80s, possibly 90s. We have neighbors that are in their 90s easily. Well, we have one neighbor that's, in his hundreds now. He's hit the triple digits. So it's surprising to me that why wouldn't you upgrade your house to make it more sustainable for you to live in your forever home? How's this a bad thing? So she hired an interior designer for $20,000 and spent another $95,000 to retrofit their house in Oakdale, California. She had the kitchen aisles widened to accommodate a wheelchair in case she or her husband ever need one. The bathroom now has a walk-in steam shower and an electronic toilet seat that cleans the user when activated. Okay. So they splurged, but they're going to be there forever. It's not like they plan on taking any vacations. They probably have already done that. They probably saved for the past 20 years to this after living in this place. They both retired. Doesn't say what they used to do, what kind of work they were in. We felt comfortable, Edwards said, explaining why the couple decided to invest in the property instead of downsizing. Well, why would I want to downsize whenever I'm happy with the place that I'm at? Why would I sell my place? That's, if it's in California, more than, let's see, what's Oakdale, California. So just curious. Listen, we've got a 40, we'll just say Oakdale, California. I'll do a quick search here because it makes me curious of, property prices. Oakdale, California house, 4-bedroom brick ranch, 4-bedroom brick ranch. Here, we'll just say for sale. Yeah, we'll just take a look real quick. Just imagine it's let's see, sponsored houses for sale in Oakdale, up to Oakdale, California, home prices. So just in case you're curious, a 4-bedroom brick ranch in Oakdale, California is here. I'll show you. So give you an idea. So four-bedroom brick ranch in Oakdale, California, 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths, $2,200, $560,000, $525,000, $499. We'll just go for the sort from recommended. We'll change it from low to high prices. So mobile homes, you can get those. There's 81 homes in California. So you can get some mobile homes, you get some property. But just for a 3-bedroom, $449,000, $450,000, $499,000, 3 bedrooms. Well, 4 bedrooms. There we go. 4 bedrooms, $560,000 is what you're going to spend on that. $569,000, $500, and it just goes up. The prices aren't going down. For 13 acres, you're going to be spending over $500,000 in California on the outskirts of this area. $599,000, $619,000. I mean, the prices aren't going down. Good morning. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, Zach. So if your prices are not going down, what makes you want to, why wouldn't you do the retrofit? Why wouldn't you just upgrade it? We felt comfortable and explained why the couple decided to invest. We have a pool, we have a spa. We just put a lot of love and effort into this yard. And they want to stay. Even if they wanted to move, it wouldn't make financial sense. No shit. Their house is almost paid for. It would be too hard to purchase anything else. Like Edwards and her husband, a vast majority of adults over age 50 prefer the idea of remaining in their own residences as long as possible. Well, we don't care what your Associated Press has to say about your poll. Staying is becoming less of a choice. Baby boomers and older members of Generation X are locked into low mortgage rates too good to give up. Well, yeah, because we were smart. While everybody was out While all you youngsters, all you young whippersnappers are out there wondering, what part of your body you want to eliminate, destroy, or mutilate, us older, Gen Xers looked at it and said, you know what, we don't care what you want to do with your body. We don't have any need to go out and protest and raise hell. We'll leave that to the 30 some to go out there and get all angry and destroy things because we don't care. We just want to be left alone. We want to do our own thing. We've been doing our own thing since we were latchkey kids. We're just like, don't care. We don't care. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Zach. It is. Hey. Oh, I've been lurking. Well, good to see you lurking. Skyrocketing house prices fueled by a lean supply further complicate the calculations of moving house. Wait, so you're telling me that the housing prices have gone up because there's a lean supply? Why is there a lean supply? Because people aren't building houses. Why aren't they building houses? Because the price of lumber went up like 2,000% in like a weekend. They did taper off to a good, easy 500% of what they were before Biden came in the office. But he won't take credit for that. I'm just so surprised why he doesn't. Despite feeling tied down, well, some ladies do like being tied down. A subset of these older adults have enough extra cash to splurge on upgrades. Yeah. Haters. Designed to keep their homes both enjoyable and accessible because we've been sitting aside, saving money for a rainy day. Well, and you know what? The rainy day is here. And while everybody wants to go out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on eating out. Yeah, millennials, I'm looking at you. Foodies. Ooh, look at, I'm a foodie. I want to show this on my TikTok. Look at my meal. While you guys are out doing that, spending all that money on stupid, ridiculous garbage, buying the latest, greatest iPhone or, computer or whatever it is that you're spending your money on, and then bitching about your rent prices being out through the freaking roof. I can't save any money because you're spending money like it never existed. Plenty of people moving east from California buying the same kind of house and keeping half the money earned from selling the old house. You think? But you can, you give it about another 4 years. California prices of houses are going to drop. And they're going to drop so drastically. You're going to be able to pick up a lot of property out there in some really nice areas because nobody wants to live under their policies. Once they eliminate the policies, people would be happy to move back in. But don't you think maybe that's the plan in the first place, is to drive the market where it gets so low that nobody wants to live there anymore? And then you can get people like Bill Gates to go in there, purchase up a shit ton of property, reface the whole area, make it look really nice again. Buy a bunch of people can purchase the property or actually just rent the property because shit, you'd be renting from Bill Gates or Soros or whoever else happens to have the money. And they got it at a really low price and you will eat the bugs. You'll be happy. Do you not see how this works? You drive the economy in such that everybody leaves, they bring their crappy policies to the rest of the United States and drive up the cost of property. So what do? Same thing my wife and I are doing. You sit back and wait for everything to tank because it is. It's just a matter of time before the economy just goes to absolute garbage because this is what happens whenever Democrats run the party. Sorry. It's crazy. Despite feeling tied down, they have enough extra cash to splurge on those upgrades because they've been saving money, and unlike a lot of these idiots that just go and blow it on random crap. Designed to keep their homes both enjoyable and accessible as they age, the demand for inconspicuous safety bars, lower sinks, residential elevators, and other amenities has given home improvement chains, contractors, designers, and architects a noticeable lift. And see, this also happens in the automobile industry. Um, Now, during good times, dealerships make money. They make really good money buying and selling cars. They also make a lot of money on the services that they provide because a lot of people that buy new cars tend to go ahead and purchase like whatever service plan they can. All right. In times like these where nobody can afford a new car or a used car or any car at that, they tend to fix up what they currently own. It may be, let's put a new stereo system in the car because the old one's blown out, getting the car repainted, replacing those broken parts on it. You might go, you know what? I wasn't planning on, driving this car, but looks like I'm just going to keep it another couple of years. There's no need in replacing it. I can just put some new tires on it, new brakes. Oh, okay. I need new brake calipers. Okay. And you're not going to go to a dealer for that. The car is what they consider an antique at this point. It's outdated. It's a 2010 model. You know, it's I mean, I know the car is old, but it still runs. All I have to do is just get some minor work. Oh, I need to put an engine in it. Well, crap. A new engine for it is only going to cost me, $1,000, $2,000 plus the installation cost. Why don't I just put a new engine in this? The car runs fine. I know it's got some rattles, but if I'm going to be purchasing a new car that's going to cost me 50, 60 grand as compared to spending, 10 or 11 grand on fixing this one up for a car that's worth like, maybe 4 grand, it's still cheaper than going and buying a new car. And that's all these people are doing with their houses. Just like, well, I can just make some upgrades instead of upgrading to a new place. This is going to cost me twice as much. I got a low interest rate. I want to do smart. And the millennials and whatever comes after that, whatever generations, I don't know. I sort of gave up on figuring out the generational thing because, and they're so pissed off. They won't move from their homes. We can't afford our housing. Well, you idiots voted for the policies that created the problem in the first place. It's like you voted for your own self-destruction, and then you want to bitch at us because you voted for your own self-destruction. Okay. I'm comfortable in my home. That's one of the beautiful parts about being a pew pew owner, because I am comfortable in my own home. It's going to take a lot more than that to get me out of here. Home Depot, the nation's largest home improvement chain, is revamping its Glacier Bay brand to include sleeker grab bars and faucets that are easier to use. Rival Lowe's created one-stop shop in 2021 that offers wheelchair ramps, teak shower benches, taller toilets, and other products geared towards older boomers. I love it. I had some asshole come up to me yesterday. As I had to go into, what was I in Lowe's for? I had to go into Lowe's for something. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I lost so I've got a tow hitch on my car, and I was redoing the trailer this weekend. I ripped up all the old sheeting, it was just, I put it on there temporary for a temporary structure. It was like flooring, plywood, not made for trailer, and because the trailer would sit in the garage, it's a fold up trailer, so the trailer folds up and then the tongue drops down. Really easy to use. I paid like, I don't know, $100 for it or some crap like that. Might have been at the most 200. But we needed something that we could go and get, because I don't have a big car. I've got like a small car, and it's not made for towing, but I've been able to tow like almost a ton with that car. It's not made for it, but I've done it. Almost a ton of rock one year. That was an interesting drive. Yeah, very interesting drive. But the anyhow, the sheeting on it had gone bad, so I replaced the lumber on it, And I did a nice little shishugi bond, and I've got metal brackets that are holding the wood in place instead of the old crap that was on there. It looks really sleek. So I was working on that this weekend. I had to go get some. What the hell was I in there for? I was talking about this. Oh yeah, the pen that holds the trailer hitch in. So I lost the pen. Unbeknownst to me, I had it in my pants pocket from the day before, and those pants were in the washing machine, so it went through the washer. But I couldn't find it, so I was in there getting a new one so I could haul the trailer around. And my idiot comes up to me at Lowe's and starts asking me about, oh, we provide this service where we can do gutters on your house. I'm like, I don't care. I just looked at him. I don't care. Like, why are you trying to sell me something in the middle of Lowe's? Like, piss off. Like, go away. Like drug dealers. I hated drug dealers in California. And it wasn't because I didn't want to do drugs. It was just I hated the drug dealers, because every 5 feet you got someone going, hey man, you want to try some? Want to try some? Like, go away. I'm just trying to go home from work. Lowe's Depot. Yeah. Lowe's Depot. It's all the same. Oh, go take care of your pups. Buy Elkie. You have your. Yep. So they aspire for bathrooms that exude beauty and elegance with essential accessibility features. That we don't care. No, here's the thing. No, we just know that we bought the house. It probably hasn't been updated since the 80s, possibly the 90s, or even the double aughts. Whenever you started hitting the year 20, whatever, 2000s, 2001. That means that if I purchased the house in 2001, just using that example, or maybe I bought it like right before the housing crash in 2008. Say I bought it in 2008. That house is almost 20 years old. That means it needs to be updated. You've got things that start to break down. They don't look so good. You've been looking at that same scratch. I bring one of my 80-pound boxers with me. Leave me alone. That's right. Oh, the shitter must be beautiful. It probably is. How you doing, Tish? Good to see you. Cheers. My love. I hope you're doing wonderful this morning. I have not seen you in a while. It is always good. It's always good to see you. I hope that those boxers are not treating you horribly. I hope they're not. It is a beautiful morning here in Georgia, and it's rainy. It's looking icky, and I'm so glad that I got everything done. So glad I got everything done this weekend that I planned on getting done outside. Toto USA, a subsidiary of Japanese company of, it says, I thought it says Toto USA, a subsidiary of Japanese company introduced luxury Biden. Oh, it's bidet. Toilet seat in 1980. Dude. Do you realize it was in 1980? All right. If you're talking about a boomer, or you're talking about one of your generation, Gen X, like I am, in 1980, we were more concerned about, what our Miami Vice looking outfit looked like that day in school. We didn't give a shit about a bidet. We had no idea what the hell a bidet was. Just like, Jesus. Me, I was more in the punk rock scene, but a lot of my friends were wearing like they were dressing like they were right out of Miami Vice. So they market a bathroom fixture to older people by saying it can help prevent urinary tract infections and reduce the burden on caregivers. Toto USA research showed 20% point spike in ownership in the washlet toilet seats among consumers 46 to 55 between early 2020. So in 1980, they started this. And here in 2020, they have increased sales. The increase indicates customers are thinking ahead, or they've just gotten too lazy to wipe their ass. The growing older demographic is more knowledgeable about renovations and planning for future needs. Well, yeah. Amazing how that works. You know, you could say, oh, it's all the home fix it shows. My wife watches the home fix it shows. She wants certain things, and then I get to do them until I can't anymore. The growing older demographics more knowledge about renovations and planning for their future needs. Yeah, especially as they prepare to age in place, Oakley said. They're looking to future proof their homes thoughtfully and with a focus on making it not really luxury, just making it as comfortable on themselves as possible. Yeah, we have one for your mom. Godsend for her. She's in her late 80s, though. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, you know, she's where you're going to be in 20 years. You know, people go, hey, my parents are in their 80s. You're in your 50s, 40s. Parents are in the 70s, 80s. You know, you think that they probably most likely had you whenever you were in their 20s. And they're going to be about 20 years older than you, which means that they're going to need a little bit more caregiving than you do currently. And so you tend to do that. Wendy Glacier, interior designer in Modesto, who worked with Edwards, reports more clientele in their late 50s and 60s remodeling their homes for the years ahead. Typical bathroom renovation in California costs $45,000 to $75,000. Well, that's because if they would have done it just even like 5 years earlier, they probably could have done it much cheaper. Your home is your safe space. Your home is where you hosted your family for the holidays. The need to age-proof properties will become more urgent in the decade ahead. By 2034, people age 65 and older are expected to outnumber those age 18 for the first time in U.S. history. Okay. Maybe because you guys keep chopping off our kids' junk. You force them to stop reproducing. Oh my gosh. But the issue is exposed a divide between well-heeled and lower-income boomers regarding the ability to remain in place safely. Really? Or do you think it's that some people took precautions to spend wisely? Happens. Kathy Perkins, 79, a retired teacher who has chronic fatigue syndrome, had a local nonprofit group modify their first floor apartment she owns in Beaverton, Oregon. The changes, which cost about $3,000, include replacing her tub shower with a walk-in version and installing a higher toilet. Perkins values her independence and said retirement facilities are beyond her means. I am on a fixed income. I have Social Security and I have a pension. Yeah, I'm curious. Did you marry? Did you have a husband? I'm just curious because it looks like all these other people that we're talking about is, you know, this other couple, Edwards, we felt comfortable, more concern on family and taking care of family and being part of a family. Huh. But yeah, we get down here and Kathy, she's 79. She's by herself. I mean, I understand that happens. Perkins values independence and retirement facilities are beyond her means. No, they're not. They're never beyond your means. You can always do that. It may not be the most enjoyable one, but you can still retire, fill their kids' head stuff with they probably didn't even realize they actually don't want. Perkins, according to a 2023 analysis of the 2011 American house. I don't understand. Harvard University. I don't care. Combines single floor living with no step entry. The Harvard Center analysis found I don't care. Directors of Aging Society program urges policymakers to address the shortage of affordable housing. Okay, this is such a bullshit statement. All right, affordable housing. What does that mean? I mean, really, think about this. What does affordable housing mean? I mean, is it affordable housing for Bill Gates? Or is it affordable housing for my wife and I? Or is it affordable housing for, someone that has just got out of prison? I mean, what is affordable housing? Do they mean free? I'm just, it's a bullshit theory, this affordable housing. I'm sick of hearing affordable housing. If you want something that's affordable, here's something that people miss out on. General, let me get this right. Generational wealth is something that people are missing out on because we get taxed unbelievable amounts. So what is affordable housing? Well, it depends on where you're at in life. An apartment might be more affordable housing for you than it would be to own a house. Now, if you're talking about a house that's affordable, well, getting paid $15 an hour for a minimum wage job doesn't make anything more affordable. It actually puts it even further out of reach. It takes away your ability to be able to afford something because the cost of living goes up whenever you start raising wages. So what do you mean by affordable housing? It's affordable housing for the rich. I guess so. They have little money and the cost is outrageous. It's not affordable housing. I mean, you also have to consider with affordable housing, you have to be able to care for your property and take care of your property. It's not just about owning the house. It's okay. So you own the house, but you don't know how to change a freaking light bulb. So that means you have to pay somebody to come in and do it. You don't know how to change out a washer on a leaky faucet. So that means the price of your water goes up because you don't know how to stop the leak. Why don't we teach these things to our kids anymore? What affordable means? Affordable means, can you afford to care for your property? It amazes me. They bitch about affordable housing. People in general bitch about affordable housing. So therefore they live in an apartment, yet they drive a fucking Maserati. I joke not. In my area where I live, I go to the grocery store and there's people that pull out of the apartment complex that's next door to the grocery store and they're driving Maseratis, Porsches, $50,000, $60,000, $200,000 cars. They've spent another $6,000 on rims, yet they can't afford to do an oil change on the car, and they live in a fucking apartment. I don't understand it. These are the same people that you see get on TikTok and bitch and moan about things. Yeah. Or they wear $1,000 worth of clothes. And that's just, we're talking about $1,000, outfit, $400 nails. They do their hair. They can afford all of that stuff. Yet they're complaining that they can't afford to live in a home. Hell, they can't afford to take care of their Maserati or their Porsche, their brand new Lexus or whatever the hell, fancy car they're driving. Man, I mean, I've got some piece of shit Mazda that I've been driving since 2011, something like that, 2012. Same one. $2,000 cell phone. Yeah. I have neighbors a few blocks away that own a new Ford Raptors and TRXs and rent a 1980s trailer house and complain that they can't buy a house. Right. Priorities, people. This is why they're so mad at the Gen X, because we go, yeah, we'll drive it until the wheels fall off. My wife's car is older than mine. Wife's car is older than mine, and she's just like, yeah, I'll just drive it until it dies. I mean, we talked about getting an upgrade to our vehicles, but it's just like they about the time we were looking to do that, the the lockdowns happened, which forced us not to here in the U.S. to not get chip upgrades for cars, which increased the cost of automobiles. Like the SUV that we were looking at getting, the price on it jumped from mere 20-30,000 up to like 90,000. That was like sticker price. That doesn't include all the other shit that they threw on. If you wanted to get any sort of we're talking about base model, jumped them up to almost $90,000 for the same SUV. And then within like just a few months, those things were, you couldn't even find them for under 120,000. $120,000 for a fucking SUV. You gotta be fucking kidding me. It's not worth it. Yeah. Same way, JD. Now, my wife and I, we haven't had car payments for at least the past, was I living here whenever those went away? We haven't had any car payments for at least 4 years, if not more. Both of us. Now, my wife, she had car payments almost the same amount of time that I did. I made double payments and crap like that. Got mine paid off sooner. But her car payments went on just a little bit longer, although her car was bought before mine. Because I went cheap. I bought a cheap ass Mazda, and I drive the ever living shit out of it. It's actually due for some new tires. But I do all the work on it myself. I mean, I went out there and changed the brakes and did an oil change before our last out of town trip. Just popped it up, did the oil change, pulled the tires off, and replaced the brakes on it. I mean, the brakes were down 2 millimeters, something like that. They had quite hit the squeals, but I knew they were getting there because it's been since I bought the car. I hadn't changed them out. So yeah, I changed out the brakes on it, and more than likely next service that I do, I'll do a brake flush on it because I have the tools to do a brake flush. If I need any like minor work, I can do that. It's going to need a clutch here soon. I probably roasted my clutch and clutch plates, and because I have a 6-speed manual from towing, so I'm going to have to fix that. But I don't have the tools to lift the engine out of my car right now. I'm not doing that. I can barely survive on what I get from SSDI. Why would I spend on what I can't afford? And usually have to get my decrepit to walk everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Save the manuals. Yeah. 6-speed manual. My wife drives one also. She has a 5-speed. She's got a Volkswagen Jetta. So yeah, she's happy with her car. Mine gets me from point A to point B, and it's fun. It's easy to drive. Looks ugly as hell, but it's a car. We wanted, like I said, we were looking to get something bigger because both of us have smaller cars. But like I said, prices went up. They jacked up the prices, and not being idiots and getting ourselves in debt. Theft device. Well, not true, because my wife left her car unlocked one day and someone went in there and stole some shit out of it, which wasn't worth anything except to her. It was just more of a frustration than anything. Like she's got a charger that they stole out of her car. She's like, great. Like, was it really worth it? There are all these options for the peoples who have a lot of money. Define a lot of freaking money. I mean, really, define a lot of money. You mean people that have since, let's see, since my wife and I, before we got married, we started setting aside money. We started saving. we avoided going out to eat. We avoided buying the new latest, greatest thing. And whenever we did buy something, we sort of bought it as a future proof. It's like, I mean, whenever I worked for Geek Squad, I was able to pick up an Insignia TV. Imagine this, an Insignia TV, not like one of the great ones. It wasn't even a beautiful TV at the time. I think it was a 720, B or whatever, maybe an I. So 720. Now you can get like 4K TVs. Okay, so picture 720. I think I paid $300 for it. For I want to say it's a 26-inch screen or some crap like that. I mean, it's not the biggest screen. It had speakers on. The TV overall is like a 32-inch, but you take away the speakers that are on the side of it, it's like a 26-inch TV. Paid like $300 for it. I actually got the mount for, I think it was $10 is what it cost me, because this is how much Best Buy marks shit up. So I was able to get that stand, the mount for it, to mount it on the wall. And we bought that in 2008. When was I working for Geek Squad? 2008, 2009. Were we married at the time? Whatever. So I bought that TV. That TV we still have. We keep it in a spare bedroom. Now we had to buy another TV for the screened-in porch that we did. I think it was $156 for a 4K TV. Maybe it was 4K. Maybe it's 1080. I don't remember. 1080, and it's a what 34. It's a really odd size we got. It's like a 34-inch TV. $159. Has smart TV capabilities. Has all the bells and whistles. Beautiful picture. I think it was like a Hyacinth or something like that. And it's just like, keeping things over a period of time and saving money on things. But that was the next TV that we bought. Outside of, I think we bought a Sony whenever we first moved here. But it was still under $1,000. I mean, you can buy new TVs for practically nothing. Every time I get my oil changed, every mechanic tells me to get a new car. They all tell me it's hard to find replacement parts for it. Yeah, there does become a point where you can't get replacement parts. You're not going to be able to get them from dealers. They do age out after a period of time. And it will be hard to get parts. But like I said, drive a car until the wheels fall off and save for the new car. If you save enough money up, whenever you go to buy a new car, don't let them know that you're going to make car payment. You're not going to make car payments. That's where most people screw up. They go in and they say, "Oh, how much is it going to cost me per month?" Yeah. Go in there, let them sell you on the idea of making car payments. But if you want to really, really save up your cash so you can afford to pay cash for the car. Then you go into the car dealership, you sit down with them, you figure you get all the negotiating out of the way, and you don't let them know you're going to pay cash for it. And what they'll do is they will try to work out the best deal they possibly can because they want to sell this car. They're going to say, well, and you work it out like, what's the bottom line price that you're going to give me for this? Because they're going to try to upgrade you on warranty services and all this other stuff. And it's like, no. What's my baseline for the car? What am I going to pay? You're selling me on all this stuff, but what if I don't want that? What if I don't want to have like free oil changes for the next like year? Which if you do free oil changes for a year, just, we'll give you your first year, but you sign up for your little service plan for like 2 or 3 years. Just realize that you're probably only going to change your oil out maybe 3 times, 3, possibly 4 times. And it's going to be like $30-$40 each time that you do that. And you're spending, a couple $100 a month extra on all that extra services shit. So what you do is you work it out. You say, how much is it going to cost? Baseline for the car. And then whenever you sit down, and you don't do this until you sit down in their office, you go into their little office and they're sitting down with the financing person and they're saying, okay, we've got these low payments of, $150 a month or whatever your payments are, 250, 300, whatever it is. They're going through the payments. You're like, well, no, wait, let me see here. No. So what's my interest? Well, what's the baseline of the car? I don't understand. You got all these extra payments. Well, what's the baseline of the car? Well, and they'll want to work it out even more. And whenever you finally get to that point where you're about to sign the paperwork and you've got it down as low as they'll possibly go because they want to sell that car. They really want to sell that car. You've got them down as low as you can possibly go. That's whenever you hand them the paperwork back, say, I'm not making any monthly payments. This is the baseline for the car, and you pay in cash. And they'll fight you every step of the way because the last thing they make their money off of services. They don't make their money off the sale of the car. They make their money off of the services that they provide. That's bank for them. Most dealerships, they don't make their money off of the car sale. So they are going to try to get that money off that car sale. They make their money off the car. Yeah, no sticker prices on the car lot anymore. Of course, they got rid of that. Most places. Like I said, watch a couple of YouTube videos and they'll explain exactly how it's amazing what you can learn off the interwebs. But do that, figure it out. You'll see that the amount of money that you're spending on a vehicle is way overpriced. And you can negotiate those prices way down, especially if they think that they're going to make money off of you and all these other services. And like I said, let them go ahead and sell you on all the other services because what they'll do is they'll start dropping the price down on the car so they can sell you on those services. Warranties, extended warranties, all that crap. Let them go ahead and rack it all in there and say, yeah, I mean, if this isn't like a couple hour negotiation. This is like an entire day. Make sure you know the exact car that you want to get because this one's going to fit your needs. If you don't know what car you're looking for, then I suggest you just do your shopping around, figure out what car you need to fit whatever purposes you need. Then go in there, let them sell you on all the services and go, yeah, but I can't, those monthly payments of like $2,000 a month, that's, the most I can afford is 100 and blah, 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 whatever. And they're going to negotiate things in because they want to get those services sold. They'll start lowering the price on the car. Once they lower the price on the car, turn around and say, okay, I don't need any of these services. And this is the baseline for the car that I'm paying. Done. See you, bye. 10 years of payments. I should have a 10-year warranty. No, you're lucky if you get a 2-year. No, screw their warranties. Screw them and their warranties. Why people just accept warranties as listed when they're paying 5 times longer than the warranty period is astounding. Correct. Oh, yeah. 9 years, 6 months, the engine died. Guess what? Yeah. Well, and I know that with Honda, they had a recall on their engine blocks. I think it was 10 years, 100,000 miles. Something like that. They like extended they warranted them out because there was a flaw in their casting of the engine blocks, and then they would crack and spew coolant into them. And if you fell under that warranty, getting that engine replaced was sweet. I think it was unlimited mileage. Yes, this right there is the smartest thing that I've seen all morning. A good mechanic is better than any warranty. You find a good mechanic, it doesn't matter if you have, an unlimited lifetime warranty for the next 20 or 30 years. Having a good mechanic is going to trump that every single day. Because he's not going to be selling you on bullshit you don't need. That's not how they roll. That's not how they roll at all. Good mechanic is going to treat you right. Jean Carr, 67, Sally Carr, 65, lived in their 2-story, 4-bedroom house in Henderson, California, North Carolina for 27 years. The married couple had the money and a vision to renovate in 22, hoping to stay in their home for at least another 20 years. So in 2022, that was 2 years ago. So he was 65 and she was 62. And you notice what I said right here. Look at that. Him and her, married couple. They hired builders to put in a master bathroom and a bedroom on the first floor, both wheelchair accessible. As the project neared completion a year ago, Gene Carr had a minor stroke described as a wake-up call. His condition has improved, but the renovations make it easier to deal with ongoing balance issues. We got 2 pets and they're old. They don't like going anywhere and downstairs anymore either. Okay. You notice that it's him and her. And they want to complain about people having a lot of money, but there's a lot of disparity. There are people with no fault of their own or systemic reasons. Why do you think it's a systemic reason that this lady right here, Kathy 79, feel for you, Kathy. You never found a partner. You never got married. You live by yourself. You've raised a bunch of cats. I feel bad for you, Kathy. I really do. Katie, Kathy, whatever your name is. I feel bad for you. I mean, maybe you were too picky. Maybe you were a bitch. I don't know. Maybe you were the nicest, sweetest person ever. But here you are all by yourself. And Gene and Sally, they've been married for, hell, quite some time. They're looking to spend next 27 years in the same place. And they can afford it. Why do you think that is? Well, these days you don't need a mechanic as much as a computer technician. No, not true. Mechanical parts are still necessary. And after working on cars, if a computer fails out, if you don't know how to replace the computer in a car, it doesn't do you any good. Or reprogram it. The hubby had like 500 left owing his Ram 4x4 truck. Well, that's the mistake right there. He had a Ram. Well, the engine locked up after driving through a flooded part of a road in Pensacola. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, 4x4 doesn't mean it's waterproof. Hey, Jeffrey. Howdy. What kind of truck? What kind of disability? What kind of disability? I'm sorry, I must have missed something here. My 8-year new car extended warranty is about to expire this month. Warranty already paid for itself. I have to decide whether or not to get another one or take your chances. You'd be surprised. The warranty did not really pay for itself. You would be surprised how you think it did, but had you had a good mechanic, and most times those warranty parts that they like to say are warranty would have been covered anyway under a recall. I mean, unless you had like a Ford or a Chevy. And if you have a Ford or a Chevy, well, yeah, no amount of warranty is going to save you from having to send it off to Ford or Chevy to have a specialized mechanic replace your transmission 3 or 4 times because it was a crap transmission in the first place. And then you're out of vehicle for at least 3 months while they try to figure out what the problem is. Or because they have a specialized mechanic that only works on that fucking transmission. It's a pain in the ass. This is where Ford and Chevy and Dodge and all these other companies sort of fail. Why your foreign cars tend to be a little bit easier to deal with because it's not a specialized thing that they have to work on. Go buy a Ford and take it into a dealership outside of an oil change. Tell them, find out what it's going to cost to have your transmission worked on versus just a part of your engine or maybe your AC. You have to have the only person that's allowed to work on them is someone that's certified to work on those vehicles for that particular problem, what it might be. And if they've got an issue with, say, their transmissions, like some of the Chevys did for quite some time and probably still do, is that they will take forever to get it done because they're so backlogged with work for that particular dealership. They've only got one mechanic that's doing all of their transmission work, or maybe two mechanics that are qualified to work on their transmissions. And therefore, it's just going to sit there and sit there, sit there and wait. You're put into queue. Lucky if you can get that done. Lucky, very lucky. I hate the game of mechanics and bullshit. It's just it drives me a little nuts with it. I don't know why people complain about not being able to buy this or that. And I say, let them try living off of what I have to and see how they feel afterwards. Exactly. I mean, my wife and I we're not broke. We're not well to do. I mean, we're not billionaires. You know, it's not like we can just walk into some place and purchase whatever we want to anytime we want to. But whenever we have to have work done on our house, we can tap into our savings and you know, make it happen. Right. I lost my voice there for a second. Good stuff. Love it whenever it's all raw from talking hours last night. If you guys didn't see last night's stream, you don't know what you're missing. You missed a fun time with Volstorm, Dictionary Diva, Yamaha Biker, and Kaiser Pineapple. You missed a great time. It was an absolute blast. We got it in, and it just didn't stop. It just didn't stop. The good times rolled on through. Oh my. So what do we got going on this morning? Let's see. Let me pull up the Twitter pies, because I had a couple of things I wanted to show you here, which I found really interesting. Let me pull this up just to see if you guys find the humor in it. I want to see if you guys find the humor in this or not, because to me, I find it very funny.
Excuse me, I had to fart. I said excuse me. I said excuse me. Ballerina's can fart too. No?
Oh man. I like the way the EcoBoost engine drives, but they're finicky creatures. Factory specs is burning a quart every 1,000 miles. I had to put a new one in your Expedition. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So I am not going to play the music for this because this will get me in trouble right here. But this happened. In case you don't know what this is, so this guy, wife does this number and brews him up some coffee. Well, what exactly did she pour in there? Well, he went over and he grabbed a strip and dipped it in there. And it shows that she poured chlorine in his coffee. And she's been doing this for some time. On a Model T, everything easy to repair, place on your own. Exactly. A 2000 Peterbilt KW with is a way to go. 3 million miles and one rebuilt with no problem. Yeah, you guys just saw the fart one.
Wow.
So what she did, just so you guys are aware of this, it was an Arizona woman sentenced after her husband caught her trying to poison him by putting bleach in his coffee. Roby Johnson started noticing that his coffee tasted off starting in March of 2023. So he decided to purchase a pool chemical testing strips and discovered that there was more that there were high levels of chlorine in his coffee. He set up a hidden camera, caught his wife, Melody Palaciano, it's a weird name to have, in the act. Johnson says his wife was trying to get a life insurance benefits by attempting to kill him. Despite all the evidence, she struck a plea deal and pleaded guilty to 2 counts of adding poison or harmful substance to food or drink. She will only have to serve 3 years of probation. Oh no, it's not tap water. She was pouring bleach in there. She's drunk if she thought he wouldn't taste it. Yeah. 3 years. Tucson, Arizona. Tried to poison him every day for months. Imagine she just gets 3 years probation. But there's a big difference, and this has to do with the disparity of people. Okay, so this guy went out and he started asking questions. What was the question that he was asking? He wanted to ask white people and black people, they wash their chicken, and the responses are amazing. The responses are amazing, so pay very close attention to the responses. Do you wash your chicken
before you cook it?
No.
Nah.
No. Should I?
Do you wash chicken before you cook it?
Of course. Are you mad?
Of course I wash chicken before I cook it. I cannot cook the chicken without washing it. What's the matter with you?
That animal was like, why are you not going to clean it? Because I went to school with all white people and I had to explain this. I don't want to, it's spreading more germs. I'm like, I feel like I've seen stuff about this. You shouldn't wash chicken because of germs.
How could you buy something that has feathers, hair, and not wash it?
You're not concerned about the feathers. You're not concerned about the hair.
No. I grew up on a farm and we killed turkeys at Christmas.
Yeah, you gotta wash the chicken, but not with soap.
You do. You put water on it and stuff.
Yeah. You kind of
Vinegar.
like caress it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes my thing gets hard when I'm doing that,
What did you say?
Yeah, it gets a little burner and that. It feels nice,
I don't really know what to say to that. I'll be real. Do you wash chicken before you cook it?
Did you guys catch it? I hope you caught it. It took a while for you to get it. I hope that you got that. Oh yeah. I hope you got that. Got that. And Apple's girl, you got it. Russell's what? Basted. I knew you guys would catch up to always washing me. Speaking of washing your meat, I want to wash my eyes after this. I just, if you haven't seen this, you can just go, what the hell?
How was that? Okay, if you guys can see, I am literally sweating so badly. What was that one?
I never want to do that again.
What did I do for YouTube?
I think you need to quit YouTube.
I know.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right, so thank you so much, my sister. Caitlin for
Yes, you heard that right. All right. I've got one more story for you. Now, whenever you see this, don't judge too much. Don't judge this too much, but pay really close attention to what happens here.
I don't give a fuck! Right, Joey, just go back. I am going back!
Just leave it.
Fucking talk to me, you don't fucking listen for shit! I done told you, listen to me, you keep telling me, listen to me, listen to me! I ain't fucking listening to you, bro! Okay, alright. I do this every fucking day! Every day! Okay, yeah, you made yourself clear. Okay, I hope I did! Right, buddy. Never have I ever had a trip like this! Okay. My whole fucking life was this!
Wow. Just pay close attention.
I don't give a fuck!
So, we're going to put this into context because that could easily be construed as somebody absolutely losing their shit. So, what exactly was it that happened? So here's the captain to tell his side of the story. Only watch it, whatever. Only watch it once, Shizzy. Yeah. In front of the children. Oh yeah. But here, let's watch what he has to say about this because that it becomes very important. Here's the captain.
They got lippy on a few things, you know, like more like saying stuff a certain way to where it was kind of disrespectful, but just kind of roll it off. You know what I mean? Just like any other charter. At this point, I remember her saying something at one point like, "You need to go get his fish" or something like that. And I was like, "Well, we're gonna catch these fish."
So did she just wanted her son's fish in the boat, or
it seemed
even though her fish was ready to get gaffed?
Oh yeah, everybody's hooked up. So his fish, her son is way in the front, and yeah, I'm guessing she wanted her son's fish in the boat first because it was, you know, for the pictures or whatever like that. But I worked my way all the way up to them because his fish is actually holding these fish around us at the time, you know.
Yeah, you always want to keep a mahi in the water. Keeps the other mahi around.
100%. As soon as you pull that sucker out of the water, they lose interest and they are gone. So at this point, we had thrown a few, you know, on the boat, in the cooler, whatever. And I ended up grabbing the dad's mahi. I got it in the back of the boat. And typically all the people on the side of the boat, you know, they stay in that area. You know, the fish are here. We're worried about the fish. Let's get the fish. Well, the guy decides to come along the side of the boat and with his camera, whether he needed a picture right now or a video right now or whatever. But, you know, me, I try to get all the fish and then we'll go and worry about pictures. That way the fish hang around, you get what you can get. And then when they're gone, we'll take all the pictures. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm kneeling back on the back deck of the boat, right behind the leaning post. And he's coming up beside the leaning post with his phone. And I seen him, and we're on the side of the leaning post. He's good there. But at that time, as I'm starting to take this fish out, he had just moved over into the throttle area because he wanted to be right over me, I'm guessing. And
so he was trying to get the shot
I'm pretty sure he was trying to get a good shot of a picture or something because his phone was in his hand at the time. I know it, and he was messing with it. So next thing you know, I mean, at this point, all I know is I'm unhooking a mahi, getting the hook out of his mouth. And then next thing you know, I have the motor cowling this far from my face. I get my hand planted to the center of the cowling. I'm already over the transom at this point, and over the transom and into the splash well. The swim platform is right next to the motor because it's a center console. And as I'm holding on to the rear transom with one hand on the motor, basically like this, my head is literally probably 12 inches or 10 inches or so from the whitewash of a Mercury 400 at full throttle, wide open.
Now, if you understand what he said, while he's unhooking a fish for this group, he's catching himself on the back of a Mercury 400, got his hand there. His face has got the whitewash coming back up. He's about 12 inches from that whitewash as he's trying to unhook a fish, which means the boat somebody hit the accelerator on it. They cranked the engine. Okay. While he's trying to unhook a fish. Somebody just opened the engine up on the boat. Yeah, he almost lost his boat. He almost became man overboard. The captain of the ship almost became man overboard. And do you think that this charter that he's got, these people that probably the first time on a boat, first time fishing, if they're having to take pictures of every fish that they catch, it's probably their first time fishing. Shark chum, exactly. Not a place you want to be out. If you're out far enough to be catching mahi, you're out a good ways. You can probably still see land, but you're out there. So let's continue on. What actually happened here?
Damn.
Just caught
At
myself.
least it probably sounded good.
Oh, I heard the.
Was that a supercharger?
Oh, you definitely heard it. And in the meantime, like, so I got myself pretty much caught and slowed down, and then was able to, basically pull myself back up out of the splash well. I mean, we're still full throttle. This is probably 5-6 seconds down the road that all this is so quick that we get up and we get the boat slowed down. I get up out of there, get the boat slowed down, and I look around and I see the kids are, somewhat in a state of shock. Like, they don't know what just happened, but they're not hurt. Nobody's complaining about, injuries. So I was like, so I looked at the other people, the dad and the mom, and they're not hurt. They're still looking in shock a little bit. So at this point, I wouldn't even say, I'm frustrated. Slightly upset. I was a little upset. I know it's an accident. You know what I mean? Yeah. At the end of the day, it is an accident. But at the same time, multiple times during this whole fishing excursion of messing with these mahis, I probably told them 4 different times to stay out of the helm area. The throttles are here. Stay out of the helm area. Stay out of the helm area. So at this point, I thought he had understood. And let me say this: when I take kids on the boat, 10 out of 10 times, the kids listen way better than the adults will ever.
Exactly.
I will attest to that.
Ever.
I've taken kids out too, and parents, and I'll tell everyone, stop reeling the swivel in. They always get to the swivel and they reel it through the eyes, and I'll say it, and the kids listen to me and they don't do it anymore.
It only takes one shot for a kid. All you gotta do is tell them once. Yeah, understand.
And anyone that's over 25, 30 will reel the swivel in every time, and I'm like, why?
Especially if they're we're experienced fishermen. It's just crazy, and that's one thing I wanted to make clear. Kids, I've taken hundreds and hundreds of kids fishing, and every single one of them has always listened to me. Whether they listen to their parents is totally different. But when I tell them something on the boat, they know they're on my boat. I just talk to them normal, and they listen. When they want to catch fish, they listen to how to catch the fish. The adults over here twitching lines and doing this, I'm like, you want to keep going. I tell them 3-4 times, and then I only help the kid. Once they realize that the kid's constantly catching and not them, they listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Either way, the kids listen way better than the adults ever will on a boat. There was zero anger, anything. There was zero everything towards the kids. I didn't project anything towards the kids. What the kids heard, I'm sorry they had to hear that.
Yeah.
I apologize that the kids had to hear that, but at the same sense, the guy needed to know how it was going. So let's go to where once I got up and the boat was slowed down and I realized everything's okay, everybody's okay, I decided that I was talking I'm talking to the dad and explaining to him how dangerous the situation is. My voice is very little raised, maybe a little bit. It's not wide open. It's just a little bit hey man, you can't be doing this stuff, and I'm having choice words with him at this point. I might say shit, can't, whatever words I said at the time didn't necessarily matter about the kids because the guy just did not listen. The guy was not listening.
And the camera wasn't recording it this time. Or maybe it was, but
it probably, I'm sure she had it down there on her thing and she was probably just videoing her feet, you know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm telling the dad, hey man, you can't be doing that. This is why you do it. This is what happened. You almost killed me. This isn't going to work. If I wasn't killed, I could have been injured. This is why we don't want to do this. And this is why you need to listen to me. You know, you have to do what I tell you, otherwise we can get stuck in that same situation. And at this time, the whole time I'm trying to explain that, and this is only, it happened. This is the 2 minutes leading up before the video, right after it happened. And I'm just explaining to him, hey, you can't do this. This is why you can't do this. You know, you almost killed me. You almost killed me. His response the entire time was, oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. And I just, hey man, it's a big deal. You can't just go sit on the throttle, dude. It's a big deal. You went wide open. It's, you know, and he's the whole time, no big deal, no big deal. So at this point, I mean, yeah, he's just not listening to me. And I could tell he's not listening to me. And then he decides to tell me, now you listen to me. And at that point, he starts to say something else.
No, here's the thing. So he does have to leave it in there. You don't stop the engines on those boats. You actually have the engine running because you're keeping it at a trolling speed. So you're able to trawling, whatever, to keep the boat at a steady speed, because if you come to a stop, you're not gonna actually catch anything. You have to be able to feed out your hook and be able to catch those fish. You're also in open water, so you want to have the boat moving along. And the captain told him, stay out of this area, stay away from this area, so he could help gaff the fish. It's not like you grab these fish and you pull up a string. No, you have a gaff where you hook the fish and pull it up, and then you can toss it in the boat, toss it in coolers. But the idea is to get as many fish out of the water as possible, as quickly as you possibly can. Rehook, put new bait on it, and toss it back out in the water, and tell them how far out they need to go with feeding. So it's completely different. And this guy was not listening. Yeah. The engine on to stay in one place. Yeah, that too. You could be trolling or you could be staying in one place. Just depends on what they're actually fishing for. If not, then the boat just does this number and can get really, really weird. Yeah, idiots should. Whenever the captain tells you don't do this and you do it anyway, it's bad.
And then you hear me fire up. The whole I don't give a was because of what he said just after he told me, now you listen to me. As if this is his boat, he's the captain, and I'm going to listen to him. Yeah. And now, at that point, I knew that I needed to take control of the situation. Without physical, without any of that, without talking, without, back and forth bickering, I took control of the situation. Now, the response to that, if you hear in the video, is he completely submits. Him, the wife, they all submit and shut up, which means that you don't let somebody yell at you in that manner. If you're in the right, you're going to be yelling back 100%. You're not just going to sit there and take it. You know what I mean? Yeah. If he's in the wrong, he's going to sit there and take it because he's realizing. And that's why you hear him say on there, okay, you made your point. Well, I was trying that for 2 whole minutes. 2 whole minutes before I just tried to.
So like you had to make the point a lot louder until you made the.
If I didn't have to, I only go as far as I need to go for them to understand. Hey, it's my boat. I'm in control here. Yeah. Let's just take. You just got to do what I say when I say it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it can be very dangerous out there. You never know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Miles and miles and miles offshore, things happen. So at that point, you see the video kick on, which is why you just instantly see the explosion and not beforehand because it was edited out. You know what I mean? So at this point.
Yeah, because you were telling me, you were explaining to him how dangerous it was, and
why it was that dangerous.
And why it was dangerous, and he was basically telling you it's okay, don't worry about it.
It's not dangerous. It's no big deal. It's not dangerous. It's not a big deal.
And I guess they were filming the whole time, but none of that. They kind of took the part where you blew up.
Yes,
and they were like, "Bam!" That's the
100%. 100%. And that's
the part everyone wants to watch, anyways.
Of course, that's the drama.
Now you're famous.
That's how that ended up going viral. Got to be safe. And this nice little crew was not being safe at all. So I want to see how many of you guys are going to be impressed. Okay. Tell me if this is some talent. Tell me if this is some talent. So pay real close attention. If you haven't seen this, you're about to see something very, very interesting.
야실이. 야, 19세 19급? 너무 좋아하는데?
Oh God. Everything on policy could. Normally those videos just kept oh. Japanese Mother's Day. You're waiting for it. Oh. Oh, now I'm thirsty. Well, if you're thirsty, this next one should totally do it for you. This next one should totally do it for you. Zach, if you're thirsty, this one's going to totally do it for you. I guarantee that you'll be really thirsty after this. You ready? All right, here we go. Oh, wait for it. Here we go. Make you thirsty? Oh. Oh, I love it. I love it. Ah, you fine people. You fine people. It is that time. That time I'm going to be sending all of you over. We're going to send you all over to see Mo. I didn't see anything come across for any music. Well, there you go. No music for you guys today. You'll just have to enjoy the last one. Yum. Yes, she can cook. It again. I miss asylums. I think I'll have a cup of coffee now. Everyone, have a wonderful day. I'm going to be sending you all over to see Mo in the Deep End. Make sure that you hit her up, give her, a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Give her a thumbs up, and I know that she will probably be sending all of you fine folks over to enjoy the baker this morning. So you guys, we will see you very soon. Have a good day. Happy Monday morning. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. And hopefully we do a little bit of What the Hails tonight with Mo. I'm hoping she's able to make it. But I will be doing another episode of What the Hails, Florida Man edition. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you very, very soon. Peace.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.